Welcome back to Good Day State Line. So everybody makes mistakes, but sometimes those mistakes have really big consequences, like losing your driver's license. Jason from the law office of Jonathan James here to talk with us all about that this morning. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So for anyone who just doesn't know about your law office, tell us a little bit about you guys.
So I work for the law office of Jonathan James, and here in the Rockford office, it's just me and Jonathan that are the attorneys there. So I handle a lot of business in Rockford, Belvedere, Ogle County, and then I also handle our reinstatement cases for people who lose their license.
Which happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. So tell us, if that has happened to somebody, how do you get it back? What do you need to do?
So, well, they say driving is a privilege, but a lot of people think it's a necessity. So, the most of my clients I deal with have gotten a DUI, they made a mistake and they lost their license. So. There's a couple things that you need to do before you even go to the process of getting it back. A lot of times the court will ask you to do alcohol treatment or counseling. Then you'll have to go and get a driving abstract from the DMV and make sure you don't have any other charges or pending tickets and everything. And then you got to go to a hearing. And there's a couple different types of hearings that you can go to. So there's the main difference is there's a formal and an informal hearing. Okay. And the biggest difference is why you're there, why your license got taken away. Again, most of the reason is DUIs. If you have just one DUI on your record, then you can have an informal hearing, and you can do that here at the DMV in Rockford. But most of the time for the formal hearings, you got to go to either downtown Chicago, Joliet, all the way down to Springfield or Mount Vernon, and that's where I kind of really get involved to help people out.
So what's the next step to get the license back after the hearing, or what actually happens at the hearing? Yeah,
so at the hearing, you have to prove that you're a safe driver, and that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will go to the hearing themselves, and there's a lot of myths out there. People think that you always get denied if you're, first time or the first hearing, and that's not always true. But if you go in there on your own, you got to be prepared to answer anywhere between 80 to 100 questions. And if your answers aren't consistent, any one of those 80 to 100 chances to mess up, and that'll be a reason to get denied. And a lot of people will come to me afterwards, say, I got denied, help me out, So one of the biggest things is like I mentioned before, going to the treatment or counseling and being able to prove that you learned your lesson, and that you can be a safe and responsible driver. And part of the process, you have to go get an alcohol evaluation. Right? Again, mostly for DUIs that we're talking here. And the evaluator will place you on a certain level of classification based on, various factors. But then you'll have to do a certain amount of treatment hours. And some of the things that the Secretary of the State is looking for, they want to know the facts of the DUI that you had, why you got pulled over, how much you were drinking. And then what you learned in treatment, and that's the biggest thing. Did you learn your lesson? Are you capable of being a safe and responsible drinker? Or safe and responsible driver? Because there's nothing wrong with drinking.
Sure.
1 or 2 drinks. A glass of wine. As long as you're not driving, that's the main thing.
Absolutely. So obviously, the best thing to do is not get your license taken away.
Yeah,
be a safe driver.
Exactly.
Choose, when you are going to drink, have someone else drive you. That's
Sure.
the best thing to do. But you're going to quiz me a little bit on when you get your license taken away. We got some questions.
And because it's not just DUIs.
Yes.
That's the main one. But there's a bunch of different ways you can lose your driving privileges.
Okay. So we got some questions.
Sure. So let me ask. So we talked about this one a
Sure.
little bit. This was the easy one.
Yeah.
If you get convicted of a DUI, can you lose your license?
Yes.
Yeah. So
right.
not only can it be suspended, for a temporary period of time, but it also can be revoked. And then it's harder to get. That's when you have to go to the hearing to get it back.
Sure. And then you have to prove yourself worthy of driving again.
Yeah. What about jaywalking?
Jaywalking. You can lose your license for walking?
You can't.
Okay.
You can't.
I was like, I didn't know that I had to have a license to walk, but you're not supposed to jaywalk.
So it can be dangerous out there, but you can't lose your license for it.
Okay, what else you got for me?
What about, let's say you're one of those people just never wears a seatbelt.
Okay.
You got 10 tickets for no seatbelt. Can you lose your license?
Yes?
No.
Okay.
We
still wear
So
a
again,
seatbelt.
not the safest thing to do. You should do it, right? And then what about street racing?
Yes.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So
That's good. I hope people who street race.
Exactly. That's kind of an appropriate punishment. You shouldn't be out there, going 100 miles an hour.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's lots of different ways, and depending on the why you got your license taken away, whether suspended or revoked, that's where having someone that knows the process
Absolutely.
can help you navigate the process.
So if we need to talk to you, how can we get in touch?
So again, it's rockforddui.com.
Okay.
And our office number is 779-500-0167. Pretty
Awesome.
easy.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for
this
your
morning.
time.
Learned a lot.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
love a quiz. Coming up next on GDS, RMCD is giving you a chance to win a free bike to celebrate Earth Day. And later, we're giving you a chance to win a really cool Earth Day box celebrating Greta Thunberg. We'll be back in just a minute.